Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. What makes everything better? Beer, of course. My friend came over. They finally named a beer after me. What other thing makes everything better? Music. Today we are gonna have, oh, son of a diddly. My kingdom for a church key. Rainbows, lollipops, and sunshine, Dutch hose, workshops, and strip mines. Do 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 do. Oh, yeah. Vaguely yeasty, as all Jerkface 9000 should be. Where did we leave off here? Yeah, I went camping, and we needed some music, of course. Now, contrary to the tenets, no, not tenets, morality, precepts, the precepts as handed down by our Antipodean soothsayer. You know who I'm talking about. I used this before I took it a pat. Now, there is some debate as to whether or not he is actually Antipodean on account of no see you next Tuesday ejaculations, but I have it on good authority that he is indeed Australian. Again, where were we? Yeah, music. Just on the off chance that we make a poor life decision and I forget about this, I took some footage, 4K footage of prospecting. Son of a diddly, get it home, the confuser's not skookum enough. I can only edit like 30 seconds at a time, otherwise she bombs. So here is some of the prospecting footage in glorious. No, it's not even 4K. It's 4K rendered into regular HD.
Days off, lounging on the lakeshore. Just no bones. Rancho Relaxo. Had about 15 minutes of that, and yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So I set to paddle in the school canoe. That's a paddling. Found some cool stuff. Well, first off, look at yonder smoke there. That's why I tell people never to come to Canada. It's just a frozen shithole and mosquitoes. When there's no mosquitoes, it's forest fires. Danger, danger. But let's get the. Oh yeah, I got a new camera too. So if I sound funny, that's why. And we're in 4K. I just gotta get spun around here. Something about a man all by his lonesome. Gotta practice his J-stroke. Just a little twist at the top. Something about just fucking stroking. Not too good with the sinister hand. Feels like a stranger. Ah, there we go. Look at that. See that yellow looking shit stain? So this whole area, hydrothermically active, say 6,000 years ago when God first made this area. That looks for all the world to me like arsenic ore, realgar, or arsenopyrite. If we take some of those and break them open, they'll probably be right blood red. That'll tell us that that's weathered arsenic. And arsenic is an indicator for, you guessed it, go.
Yeah, I took this on days off and used the ever-living shit out of her on the one battery. I gotta say, you know, normally I don't care for Will Fuck Ye on account of the marketing wank. It just it makes me puke a little bit in my mouth. But this thing, despite, you know, it says it's 40 watts. We'll see about that. We are going to take her apart. But I gotta say, I got a bit of a soft spot for the old girl on account of it saving me and the wife from actually needing to speak to each other because she could charge her phone up from this. It lasted all week on this big battery, so quite pleased with that. We got the double-ended gland end here. Quite a bit of detail on this plastique, and interestingly, they are not putting the materials on here. No stamp for the materials. So I'm gonna have to show you a trick in order to find out what material this is. Of course, we start off with best guess. This appears nice and stiff, lots of detail here. So this is probably polyamide nylon 6 with no glass fiber reinforcing, so we don't wear out the mold prematurely. Very stout though for what it is. Just a handle. What for bringing this thing around? This is either ABS plastic or nylon 6. Not quite sure. But if we look at the end cap here, this is shiny like a styrene, but not quite. It's probably ABS here and nylon here. We see some nice features. So they didn't overmold this. It's really hard to tell without the markings. It's kind of like cheating with the markings. I would say this is polyamide, the nylon. However, how are we going to check that? Well, since we don't have the marks, we can't use our eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire up the Heiko 888D and catch this afire. And we're going to smell the results, compare it to some known samples. Contact. Right here, right now, we are going to stub this the stank standard. Here we have ABS sewer pipe, of course recycled condoms, and the tears of idealist communist pasts. Not much of a flowery top note to that. Let's have a look at this one. No, smells completely different. This is more like burning candle wax, cheap candle wax. So we'll go with the nylon smell here. We know this is good. Whoa, I almost said Lithuanian. Liechtensteinian. Jeezless. Oh, we can even hear the glass fiber in there. Oh, and this smells more like nylon rope. So this is not in fact nylon. What could it be? Polyethylene maybe? There's some styrene. Give this a whiff. Well, that's getting closer. That's getting closer. We all know the distinctive smell of melting something. No, different. We're still not on it. Here we got from the land of delicious horse meatballs, some PET, which is not high density, polyethylene, polyethylene, just straight up polyethylene. Oh, we're getting closer. We are getting closer. Might be a blend. Wily buggers. Here's high density polyethylene, and we got a little bit of vinegar on there as well. Let's try that. See if we're getting closer. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Oh, that's the stuff right there. That is, yeah, the smoking solder iron right there. So that is high density polyethylene. And now we know. Nigh on 100 years ago when I first began doing teardown. Oh, fuck. Mill wronged it right up. Yeah, well, tough to make an egg without busting some omelets. I've been noticing that they've been putting the material spec on the outside of the case. I mean, marketers being what they got their finger on the pulse. And I don't want to take all the credit for that, but people are aware of the materials that their tools are made of now, more so. So it's curious to me that they didn't put any markings on this when they are using an inferior material. But it goes to show, man, you can't keep a good man down. You can slow us down, but you can't fuck us over. I like how all this trims comes off. That'll come in handy. Oh, and look at that. Some secret fasteners. The dirty bastards. Yeah, we gotta give her the old Lee Trevino 200-pound gorilla feather touch. I don't want to break this fancy plastic stuff. Oh, look at that. Hey? Just like sexy time when your wife's got her diaphragm in. At first blush, they use an incredible amount of fasteners. We have a look. Remember this guy. We just had the two fasteners and the I think 2 fasteners. I can't remember, but it didn't strike me that there was too much mitigation of the rattle trap effect. But in this case, they are really giving her a while with the fasteners in order to stiffify this. Further to that, look at the fasteners, specifically these damping washers. Initially, I thought it would be for water intrusion, but then that doesn't make a sense. It's to prevent the vibratory, this from rattle trapping. Nice little touch. Whether or not it has any effect, I got all the fasteners out that I can see. But fucking stiff. Something going on in there. We'll, yeah, man, oh man. No dearth of fasteners. Take the speakers off, see if we can gander what is going on. That's an interesting part there. It's solid in the middle. Got the diaphragm around there. Nitrile rubber, Buna N. Oh, fuck yeah, Buna N. And it is, looks like it's molded right in place. Look at that. You see that? Wow. That's been molded right in place. I would have thought that would be super glued. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa, look at that. So this is molded with this stainless steel, or, well, stainless steel. Oh, my kingdom for it. There we go. Never got a magnet when you need it. Yeah, that's stainless steel. So why would they? Oh, I guess for magnetics, because this is moving around. Wow. Wow. 304 stainless steel. Holy oh fuck, this thing's like Fort Knox. Show us your Mardi Gras beads. Fuck. We'll jam a fox wedge in there. Work our way around the horn. Like I say, it works for the missus. Here we go. Just keep working at it. Just keep working at it. Your surprise is coming. Huh? At the very least, it's a good clean hand job. Holy old fuck, we got every swing and dick on the claim on this one. Use the power of the inclined plane and use the old sewing notion routine. Pin cushioner. This, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, of course I don't know. If I knew, it wouldn't be at this particular juncture. Well, thanks for the heads up. But wait, there's more. Yeah. Here's one. Amazing how one tiny piece of steel will completely screw you over. Not so tough now. We fought for that one, as is very frequently the case when you're battling yourself and your own stupidity. Okay, so I left some fasteners in there. Interesting. Okay, 8 ohm, 20 watt rated on here. Nice big and actually metal cones on the back. Little gaskets here, damping gaskets. And look at this, straight from the board we have a high pass filter. So a capacitor in here that goes over to the tweeters. So that's your high pass filters. That makes sure that the lower frequencies get fed into this guy, and only the higher frequencies go to the little tweeters here. And these are Decon brand capacitors. Good, bad, indifferent, you tell me. All hand finished on the solder. All hand elasticed in. Oh, this is just silicon carney. Quite a bit of eye for detail here. Nicely wrapped. That's all got all kinds of urethane foam on there. We even got a Buna N nitrile rubber. That is quad ring. Shaped quad ring in order. Is that a quad ring? No. looks like a D ring. And this is nice here. Look at this. Bonus nachos. Of course, we're just going to run this guy off the 18 volts. But it does have a 12 volt battery receptacle. So we will use this elsewhere. That's fucking awesome. And it goes just to a Molex connector on the board. Easy as that. Right on. Spare parts. Having a prelim glance, getting some numbers off of this. Of course, we see, well, this is 18 volts. So, and it's 12 volts, dual voltage, and it runs off a wall ward as well. So maybe a linear voltage regulator. Bunch of diodes here. We see a whole bunch of inductors and capacitors. That's got to be part of the amplification circuit. Here's the brain of the operation chip here. Here's the Bluetooth module here. That comes in its own board, and then the board gets soldered to the main motherboard. A little antenna here for the radio. Whole bunch of passives. Some other stuff. That looks like maybe the amp. Bridged connection here. That's odd. And the clock chip. Something else here. Maybe yeah. Who knows? We'll get the numbers off of there. The handy dandy pecker detector. And ooh, party mode. Alright, here we go. Back from the old jazz hands routine on the Gargler. What did we ever do before Tinternets? You actually had to know stuff. Not anymore, children. You ain't got to know nothing. It's all on the internets. So, power comes in here and goes to these. Well, there's got to be some sort of switch mode power supply. This is not a linear voltage regulator. We'll get into that. I'm thinking, well, people don't like to hear this because they want to know certainty, even if that certainty is wrong. An answer, even if it's wrong, is better than no answer. In this case, I don't know what's going on with the power here. I'm going to pull this up and we'll have a look. But in the interim, we will look at this. So we got some Schottky diodes here. Now, these diodes, Schottky just means they're faster and they're lower forward voltage drop. So these only have a voltage drop of 0.5 volts, whereas normally you'd see 1.5 volts. So, but there's three of them, and then there's this is not, as I said, a voltage regulator. It's just a MOSFET. So that must be your main power on. And then we have some capacitors and inductors here they're paired up, they're twinned. So this is for the right and left channel, right? And then a big cap here. Not sure quite what that is for. Let me go through here, because guys make their own circuits sometimes, design their own circuits, and they like to know what the pros are using. So we're going to go over it here. Just go ahead and go to that happy place in your head if you're not interested. So these diodes, three of them, multi-comp SS54 diodes, 40 volt Schottkys, 5 amp rated. This 20P06 is a MOSFET, N-channel MOSFET. Oh, here we go. This is the Class D amplifier. No, not that. Amplifier. And it has wide load range of 2 to 8 ohms. Wide power supply range of 4.5 volts to 26.4 volts. High output current, 7.5 amps over 2 channels. Peak output current is 50 watts per channel at 4 ohms on the speaker. So would it be a quarter of that, or can it change? No, yeah, it would be. I'm not an audio fool, and that fella who sold these in the previous video, fucked up on the rocks. Welsh, Rush, David Rush. He would know, but he doesn't work for TI anymore, and he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. So who else? Oh yeah, we could ask. Yeah, we could ask. I know a guy. The fellow over there at Skankum Skookworks there. He's building a braille printer for us. Spirit. Anyway, I digress. Somebody's going to help us. When I make a mistake on this audio fool stuff, down in the doobly-doo there will be corrections. Not to worry. To put it succinctly, but short, curly, and stinky, this is a Class D amplifier, and it's a digital I squared S. I squared S. I thought it was I squared C. Weird. 48 kilohertz is the sample rate. It's got oh yeah. Oh, look at this. Weird. I think they made a mistake. Digital audio interface, I2S. And then, of course, we have I2C. Focus, you fuck! I tell you, this fucking camera. Anyway. Yeah, so a whole bunch of ones and zeros, pixies and so forth going in here. This little chip here, this is interesting because it is a single-ended analog 24-bit 96K kilohertz stereo analog to digital converter. So that means there's some analog signals coming in here. Where would they be coming from? Here we got the clock way over here, the clock way over here for this guy. This guy is I didn't look him up, actually. MT3055, it shows that it's a N-channel MOSFET, which it is not. Here's a CRS device. This board comes from, well, it's the Bluetooth board, and what's interesting about it, as if we would get it in frame here. Let me see if I can macro that. What? That's impossible. It's actually working. So here is the Bluetooth brain box here, and this tiny little board, what you get from the supplier, is the same as this big board, only miniaturized. There's the clock there. There's the micro, looks like 128 pin. 128 pin. I mean, just the mind boggles. Look at this. Little tiny inductors even. It appears to be some sort of MOSFET device for switching the Bluetooth ones and zeros off. Yeah, this outputs radio frequency black magic voodoo, and it's the size of your pinky, like the top part of your pinky. The mind boggles. Aha! Aha! There's the switch mode power supply by this big inductor here and an electrolytic cap right beside it. So that makes sense that it's off of this board, because normally noisier than ham radio, you get that 100 kilohertz switching, super fast switching in order to change the voltage, and yeah, it makes a lot of noise, so it makes sense that this is off here. Appears as though the USB does not play MP3s, it would only just charge. Yeah, see, there's nothing on the data lines there. It's not bridged at all. No decoupling capacitors or anything like that, and yeah, no signal can pass. So clearly this is only for charging your wife's cell phone in the middle of the night. Input jack here. Oh, that could also, yeah. So the analog to digital converter on here would also take your input from your jack here, if you had an iPod or something like that, in order to play it. Of course, nowadays you just do the Bluetooth, hope for the best. This actually, it seems to cut out quite a bit less than this guy. Now, whether or not that's just the operator, who's to say? But I don't tend to point the finger at myself too often. In this case, however, well, let's call a spade a spade. We can have, what is this? Some heat sinking. Yeah, there you go. So clearly, switch mode power supply in here. Very nice. Interesting. Oh, that's about all there is to her, I guess. Oh, these decon caps are listed on crappycaps.com as toxic waste, and then I actually went to the website to see the manufacturer, and the gargler said, whoa! So I didn't get any further than that. These D-class amplifiers are expensive, surprisingly expensive little bastards. $6.75 each, $3 in bulk, over 1,000. So you know, they might be getting these for $2 or so, but not, you know, not too cheap, and surprisingly rated for the power that these things say they put out. Oh, while I got it apart, we're doing some upgrades. We're going to do some upgrades. I'm just wondering now if this is like, if this amplifier is like a motor driver that you can just dead bug another one on top of it and double the power output. Something tells me it's not that simple, but for $6.75 it might be fun to try blowing these speakers out. The other thing is, as we can see, we do not want The NSA's contrail's turning our frogs gay, so get rid of that. Mothership tracking, so forth. Now we're taking off some of the red bits, and yeah, look at that. That's where the 18 volt goes in. A lot of eye for detail on this. A lot of handwork. Putting globs of silicon carney everywhere. We got all the red bits out, and cool kids being what they are, we don't want to let the crap out of the bag, so we're going to make a couple special modifications ourselves. I was leaning toward this beautiful hammer tone that I just bought. Son of a diddly. Rust-Oleum, you fucking suck. This stupid noozle for the who's. Whoever signed this off, the guy, there is one guy. You fucking suck. This thing is stupid. Bah. Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. So she's plugged up right solid, right? It's still got, only about that much paint in it. Here's the kicker. Okay, well, no problem. I'll just take a noozle out of a regular one. Stick her in there. You can't. It's a different friggin' size. It's a different size. So you say, well, you just go and steal, a new one, and then put. I'm not that guy. Have you ever bought one of these and the noozle is pre-blocked? What a piss off that is. I'm not that guy. So yeah, Thanks, Rust-Oleum, for the thorough reaming. I appreciate it. On second thought, you know what? Screw you. I'm returning this. It's defective. I encourage everyone who has a problem with the noozle to return these. It's bullshit. We're going to do a test with the signal Jenny. We get the battery plugged in and the aux cable. So we'll turn it on and we will check the sound pressure here. Oh, are you dead already? Fuck. It just doesn't end, boys. It just doesn't end. I'll be back. Okay, on channel 1, we got a sinusoidal waveform. Phone is turned up as high as she'll suffer. We got this on aux. And contact. Surprisingly loud. 110 decibels. On the C waiting with the slow reaction time. At exactly 1 hammer length from the emitter. Now, for scienticity's sake, at roughly 1 hammer length, give or take a quarter hammer length, and check the DeWalt, see how loud it is. Contact. Oh, 96 decibels on the C rating. I just discovered a flaw in my methodology because there's something rattling around on the speaker. I thought that was kind of odd. I tried to anyway, discombobulate it, and it got louder as frig, even though the thing's still rattling on there. It's directional. The thing doesn't want to chooch when it's upside down. It's so much louder like this. So I got to test it like this. Huge difference. Huge difference. Wow. And far lower when it's like this because it's not sealed off on the back. Now that is fascinating. I would have thought that, I wouldn't have thought the effect of a resonant cavity would be that extreme. In the difference, 20 decibels, 15 decibels in the difference. Now this back end isn't sealed up anymore. And holy doodle, the difference, incredible. Who would have guessed? Surely not me. So I guess I can go home on account of learning something today. But we'll get this back together. And just in case there's a difference between the 3.5 millimeter plug-in analog to the Bluetooth, we are going to do the Bluetooth. Gratuitous high-speed shots. Is there anything they can't do? So that's interesting because we clearly have a resonance happening inside this stiff enclosure. They must be adding these dampers to tune that resonance so that we get, well, you would want more bass out of this, right? That's what makes people feel like it's loud, is the thump, thump, thump. So they must be adding these in order to lower the resonance of this cavity in order to get the bassier tones, which is lower frequency. Pretty fucking interesting, actually. I never really looked at audio stuff. I think I've said that before, but there's some interesting stuff going on. Now today, being the morrow, the paint has dried, unfortunately. Homelier than a stump fence. And look at all this extraneous plastic. Just not to mention, oh my god, oh my god. I can't. Too much of a good thing is, I guess, still a good thing, but that is a lot of screwing. I got another idea. You ever cast your eyes around your overstuffed shop? You ever been to Seabilly and seen an overstuffed shelf right full of these blow molded cases? And you ask yourself, what the fuck for am I even keeping those? Oh, fuck yeah, boys. Tooth factor over 9,000.
Oh, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I should be getting this again.
Cause fuck you, Milwaukee. You ruined the only drill I ever loved. Wee bit of foreskin on my part. I'm glad I kept the box on account of returning it. In all seriousness, if and you got the M18 or the M12 tools, this ain't T-bag. It's pretty tough. It's pretty skookum. You saw all of the fasteners. As far as, I'm surprised it's actually rated at 40 watts and all the components are 40 watts. So, I mean, it's nice and loud. The Bluetooth works. The aux works. It charges up your phone. I had it on the 9.0 ampere hour battery. It lasted me a week, including charging the phones up. Yeah, it is pricey for what you get, you know. It's a Bluetooth speaker, but nice and loud and robust. I threw this around, put it in the canoe. Not a problem. Not that canoe. Fucking sickos. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a canoe.
I plugged in my super expensive iPad and it went bang. Smoke came from every corner of the screen got hot, and now it's completely dead, and I'm probably lucky I'm not, because I got a cheap, shitty pink USB charger from China.
I get a warm cookie over this one. You know what would really impress the retired accountants at the woodworking trade show? Fuck it. Leather box. That's right. $100 Festool Sustainer.